The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Helena Chen stepped through the crystalline doors, her black diplomatic suit pristine despite the 17-hour journey from Earth. Behind her walked Ambassador Marcus Rivera and Ambassador Yuki Tanaka, their movements precise and predatory despite the formal setting. Council Speaker Zethka, a towering Vorthon with 6 eyes arranged in a perfect hexagon around his skull, studied the human delegation with barely concealed satisfaction. His intelligence networks had done their work well. Earth's representatives appeared exactly as expected. Small, soft creatures wrapped in primitive cloth, their fragile bones and thin skin testament to their home world's pathetically weak gravity. "Welcome," Zethka's voice resonated through the chamber's translation matrix. "Representatives of the newest species to join our confederation." The emphasis on newest wasn't lost on Helena. In galactic politics, it meant weakest. She smiled, a gesture the aliens had learned to interpret as submission. Around the amphitheater, representatives from 47 species observed with varying degrees of interest. The reptilian Scar delegation hissed softly among themselves, while the crystalline ethereals chimed in harmonic frequencies that suggested amusement. All had been briefed. Humanity was to be the Confederation's newest servant species, their world strip-mined for resources, their people relegated to menial labor across the galaxy. "We're honored to be here," Helena replied, her voice carrying easily across the vast space. "Earth is eager to contribute to galactic civilization." Zethka's mandibles clicked in pleasure. The human even sounded appropriately submissive. "Excellent. We have prepared suitable roles for your species. Mining operations on Kepler 442b require workers who can fit into narrow shafts. Your diminutive size makes you ideal candidates." Marcus stepped forward slightly, his movement so fluid that several species' prey response instincts fired involuntarily. "That's very thoughtful of you. However, we should probably discuss the terms of such arrangements." "Terms?" Zethka's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. "I'm afraid you misunderstand your position. New species don't negotiate terms, they accept assignments." Yuki tilted her head, studying the council speaker with the kind of focus that made veteran soldiers uncomfortable. "Oh, but we're not exactly new anymore, are we? Earth has been observing galactic civilization for quite some time." A ripple of confusion spread through the chamber. The intelligence reports had been clear. Humanity had only achieved faster-than-light travel 3 months ago. Observing? The Scar delegate's forked tongue flicked nervously. "Well, yes," Helena said conversationally as if discussing the weather. "Did you really think a species could develop FTL capability in isolation? We've been watching for decades, learning, preparing." She gestured slightly and the chamber's main display activated. Holographic images filled the space above them. Detailed schematics of Vorthon warships, Scar breeding colonies, ethereal crystal cities, military deployment patterns, trade route vulnerabilities, the private communications of council members. "Fascinating civilizations, all of you," Marcus said, his tone appreciative. "Though we were particularly interested in your recent discussions about resource allocation in the Orion Arm." Zethka's exoskeleton began to darken, a Vorthon stress response. "How did you—" "We're very good at listening," Yuki interrupted gently, "and waiting, and planning." She paused, letting her gaze sweep across the suddenly tense assembly. "Earth has a saying, speak softly and carry a big stick. We've been speaking softly for quite some time now." The display shifted, showing Earth's solar system. But instead of the primitive infrastructure the Council expected, it revealed a fortress. Hidden weapon platforms orbited beyond Pluto's orbit. The asteroid belt bristled with mining operations that were clearly military installations in disguise. Even Earth's moon had been hollowed out and converted into something that made the galaxy's most advanced dreadnoughts look like children's toys. "The stick," Helena said simply, "is very big indeed." Around the chamber, delegates began activating emergency communicators, frantically calling their home fleets. The calls went unanswered. On cue, the display showed why. Earth ships had simultaneously appeared at every major military installation in the galaxy. Not attacking, simply present, waiting. You wanted weak ambassadors, Marcus said, straightening to his full height. Even at barely 6 feet tall, something about his posture made the 10-foot Vorthans instinctively step back. So we sent diplomats. But understand this. Every human diplomat is also a soldier. Every human scientist is also a strategist. Every human child is taught that the universe is vast, dark, and full of predators. Yuki smiled, and for the first time, the aliens recognized it for what it really was. The thing about apex predators is that we don't announce ourselves with roars and displays. We observe, we learn, we adapt. And when we finally reveal ourselves, she didn't finish the sentence, she didn't need to. Zethka found his voice, though it came out as barely a whisper. What do you want? Partnership, Helena said, her tone becoming businesslike. Real partnership. You see, we've studied your histories. Every species here was once like us. Small, vulnerable, seemingly insignificant. The difference is, when you achieved interstellar capability, you found a galaxy already dominated by others. You adapted by becoming servants. Clients, junior partners. She gestured to the display, which now showed Earth's true industrial capacity. Entire continents converted to manufacturing, oceans teeming with automated systems, a population of 12 billion all unified behind a single, terrifying purpose. We had the advantage of developing in isolation. We could prepare. And humans have been preparing for contact with hostile aliens since we first looked up at the stars and wondered what else might be looking back. The silence stretched for long minutes. Finally, the ethereal delegate's crystalline form chimed a question. What happens if we refuse this? Partnership? Marcus checked his chronometer, a gesture that somehow seemed more ominous than any threat. Our fleets have been in position for 6 hours. We could end galactic civilization before lunch, but that would be wasteful. He looked up, his smile cold and sharp. We'd much rather build something better together. Zethka's 6 eyes focused on the human delegation with new understanding. They had wanted sheep and received wolves. But these wolves wore suits, spoke of partnership, and offered a choice. It was perhaps more mercy than the galaxy deserved. We accept, Zethka said finally, partnership as equals. Helena nodded graciously. Excellent. We'll start with a complete restructuring of the galactic economy. Earth has some ideas about efficiency that should prove interesting. As the session continued, delegates throughout the chamber came to the same realization. Humanity hadn't joined galactic civilization. They had conquered it with spreadsheets and smiles. And somehow, that was the most terrifying thing of all.